tutorial on how to use the digital version of Becky Higgins' Project Life available at JessicaSprague.com. I'm your instructor, Jessica Sprague. I'm really excited that we have the chance to offer the digital versions of the Project Life approach to scrapbooking here at JessicaSprague.com. And I wanted to walk you through how to use these digital templates to make your year-long scrapbooking process an integral part of your life that can be done quickly and easily. There are only really two things that you're going to need to download, although you can download all of the various kits that Becky Higgins has at JessicaSprague.com. You'll really only need two things. The first one you'll need are the templates. And the second thing you'll need is to pick one of the kits that you want to work with. So let's go ahead and get out one of the templates. These are really the core Photoshop documents that you'll be working with throughout the year. The nice thing here is that it doesn't require special page protectors, and then you'll print these onto 12 by 12 photo paper and you can slip them right into 12 by 12 page protectors. So let's go ahead and look inside of this VH templates folder, which is the one that you'll download and unzip before getting started. Inside here, you'll find the templates, and these are Photoshop documents or PSD files, and all we're going to do is pick one of these and open it. There are a couple ways to get things open into Photoshop. After you unzip these, which is really important, here in Windows, the way you do that is you'll click on a zip file and then there will be a little extract button right up here that you'll need to go through an extraction process before you can actually use any of these. So if you get an error in Photoshop that says cannot open because it's not the right file, it means you haven't unzipped it. Then all you need to do is using Windows Explorer, which you can get to through your Start menu. Just go to Start and then My Computer, and that'll give you a Windows Explorer right here. I like to keep this open. The other way to do this is through the Mac Finder if you're on the Mac, or you can come in through Photoshop itself. Here I've got Photoshop Elements 10 open, and we can come through and go File and Open, and now we just need to navigate to the place where we've downloaded and unzipped those files. So here is BH Templates, and I'm just going to click on A and click Open. All of the templates work exactly the same way. And when this file opens, you'll see it here in the main project view, and then you'll see a bunch of things over here in the Layers palette on your right-hand side. You'll see a cute welcome message that says, over here in the Layers palette, you'll see a plus sign next to each clippable layer. We're going to go through the process of creating clipping masks, is what they're called here in Photoshop, and so you'll be looking for each one of these plus signs on each one of these layers to be able to navigate through this template, and once you get the hang of it, it'll be quick and easy. So after you've read the introduction, go ahead and hide that layer by clicking on this little eyeball icon. Now we're ready to get started. This should look pretty familiar if you've ever seen any of the Project Life stuff. This is actually the same thing as the page protector, which is page protector A in the traditional paper version of this kit. But if you look down here in the Layers palette, that is actually this blue one right here. And then you can see here's our plus card photo for each one of the 4 smaller sized cards that go through the middle. So let's go ahead and just click on this first one and grab a patterned card to put here. Let's pretend like this is our title page. So we're just going to fill this with cards, and then we can go through and possibly add in maybe our last name or something like that, so we can add in just a little bit of extra personalization. So all you're going to do is click on one of these plus card photo layers, the one you want to work with next, and then in the options bar, make sure that your auto select layer checkbox is checked right here, and your show bounding box checkbox is checked. These two things enable digital scrapbookers to really quickly and easily navigate around their documents. You can see without those checked, I wouldn't be able to see these bounding lines right here, so I wouldn't know what layer I had checked. And without this one checked, I wouldn't be able to navigate between layers here interacting with my document. So make sure those two are checked, and our Move tool is selected, which is the very top one here in the toolbar. Now let's come up and open one of our title cards. Now again, you have your choice of using your file and open and navigating to the place where you want to open something, but I find that it's much easier if you use one of your Windows Explorer or Mac Finder windows and just keep this thing open the whole time. And I'll show you why. So let's come back out to where we've downloaded. Now we've got our templates folder, and then we've downloaded and unzipped one of our full kits. I'm going to use the Clementine kit here. So we'll just go right in. You can see a bunch of different folders here. If you're familiar at all with the way Project Life works, you'll know that there are title and filler cards, then there are full papers, journaling cards, cards for the first and last pages, and then she's included a bunch of extra elements, and then the days and numbers and different arrows and things like that for navigating people around on your page. So we're going to go in, because this is our title page, into the first page, last page folder. And let's click on Clementine Edition title page. And then to make these viewable as images, you simply need to change this to large icons right here, this little drop down. You can do the same thing in the Mac. And now let's decide what card of these four we want to have be the top left corner. I think I'll choose this one. And all you need to do then, being able to see all of them, is click and drag and drop that over onto Photoshop Elements. Photoshop will open it. And now with our Move tool selected, let's just click and drag and pull that down onto the thumbnail of our layout that's down there in the project bin at the bottom of the screen. So what happens here in the process of creating something from a template is that you open up a new document or an image. So this card is its own document, and our goal is to combine these various items onto our single scrapbook page. It's very much the same concept as a traditional scrapbook, except that you're using your Move tool and navigating with the mouse. So all we need to do here is just pull this up with our Move tool until it covers over that shape in the top left corner. And now we're going to create our clipping mask. And this is really the key part of creating something using a template. You're going to hover your mouse on the line in between the layer you just brought in, which is our little card here, and the plus card photo layer. Hold down Alt or Option if you're on the Mac, and then wait for your cursor to turn into that little double circle icon. Can you see it? It looks like a snowman. When you have that, then just go ahead. I'm holding down my Alt key. Just go ahead and left click, and this card conforms itself to the size and shape of the layer underneath it. That's the magic of clipping mask. It's basically like cropping something down without having to cut it out, and it works with every digital template. Now let's try one of these little cards right here. Same thing applies. We're just going to click on the card that we want to attach something to, and now let's go and get one out. I'm just going to pop out my title page folder again here in Windows Explorer, and I want to choose maybe this blue card right here. And the same thing applies. I just click and drag to pull that on. Photoshop opens it. Move tool is selected. Now we'll just click and drag to pull that down onto the thumbnail of our document here in the project bin. And when I let it go, now I can move it right over to the place I want. Now these are almost exactly sized right, so our clipping mask doesn't make too much of a difference, but it makes enough that it's worth doing. So here's our layer 2, which is the one we just brought in. So we're going to hover our mouse on the line in between our layer 2 and our plus card photo layer that's right underneath it. Hold down Alt or Option if you're on the Mac, and then click down to create that clipping mask. Now you can repeat this process for all of the different shapes that are in this template. One additional thing, our background right here is gray. And if you don't want your background to print gray, you have two options. One is that you could bring in one of the pattern papers and have a patterned background behind all of these cards. Your other option is actually just to turn this layer off using that little eyeball icon. Then when you print this out, everything around the background will print out white. So it'll look very much like the page protectors that you see in the traditional Project Life. So this is the way that you clip things on using the digital version of Becky Higgins' Project Life available at JessicaSprague.com. I'm your instructor, Jessica Sprague, and I hope to see you soon at JessicaSprague.com.